with our own tax. So our purpose in these two departments, especially in the Department of Media Studies and the Department of English, is to be creative. But our focus here is to talk on academic writing. Now what makes academic writing different from creative writing is that academic writing is utilized for academic purpose. Our students have a very staring tendency. I am going to share your experience and you will be surprised at how do I come to know about your feelings. It is because once I was a student as well. And I am still a student because in intro I am being introduced that I am a scholar of PhD and PhD scholar is again a student. So I do attend class like you and learn in presence of great mentors. Okay? Now just close your eyes and think of all the questions given to you in your papers for a single second. Close your eyes and think. Just imagine yourself that you are sitting in an exam hall and a paper is given to you. Open your eyes because human mind has such a strong speed that it can beat all the strong computers. So in these few seconds you are in exam hall. You were presented a paper and you were supposed to answer that paper. Now all question papers in our part of the world carry a message that attempt all the questions. Most of the time you are also given such type of test. Attempt all the questions. And then the next statement I did is all questions carry equal marks. Is it like this? In Latif University it happens like this. And I'm sure that here at this university the practice will be the same. And don't worry, this practice is same throughout the world. Even at Oxford University the questions are given like this. Attempt all questions and all questions carry equal marks. Now there are 4 questions per se. Imagine yourself. I have created a very imaginative scene here. You are imagining yourself. You are sitting in exam hall, you are given a question paper. In question paper there are 4 questions. All questions carry equal marks. Now we go through the pages of question paper. We read. Most of the time our students even don't bother to read question paper. This is ironic, huh? The first question that clicks our eye, that clicks our mind, the first question that I had plotted last night, the first question that I had gone through last night, and if I get a single clue of that question, I start writing on that. And this always creates a negative impression. Try to avoid this thing. Before attempting questions, it is your responsibility to go through question paper in detail. Though you know all the 4 questions, but you are supposed to read those questions again and again. Take little time for this, and this is what people don't do. And this is why I am that much confident in uttering this sentence, because I myself as a student did do these things. And then I had to pay a price, and I don't want that you people pay such heavy price for yourself, because you are tender kids. You are very innocent souls. And in our presence, when we have our experience, if you are committing the same mistake, means nothing is not taking place, and we will not let you go unlearned. I am here to tell you how to attempt answers. So question paper is given to us. Question paper carries 4 questions. All questions carry equal marks. We read them carefully, and sometimes within a question there are questions. Sometimes within a question there are questions. For example, a question from, we must create a question from English studies. Thomas Hardy's test is an epitome of feminist literature. Now our mind starts working. We recall Thomas Hardy. We recall his test of D'Urberville. We recall the character of test. We are fine till that. Now we don't read the next part of the question and we start writing. Okay, we start writing that Thomas Hardy was one of the best novelists, and he authored Tales of D'Urberville. He created Wessex, his imaginary world, and out of Wessex he made his character suffer through nature, like this. Whatever you know, and I trust that you know all these things. But the question was not like that. Question was to relate Tales with one of your life experiences. The question was not about Tales. The question was about relating taste with your life's experience. Means you might have other female characters in your life. You may have your class fellows, you may have your teachers, you may have your siblings, you may have your heroes, real life heroes. You need to relate them with the destiny of test. That was the question. But as we don't read questions in detail, we simply focus on reading the first part of question and then attempt it, then come out of the hall and tell our friends that, oh, that was a wonderful question, I attempted it well, and then you expect that out of 25, 20 marks will be awarded to you. And when result appears, out of 25, you were simply awarded 10 marks, and that was again on the generosity of your teachers. And had he or she not allotted you 10 marks, you had no right to, go against them. So, academic writing involves careful selection of the tasks. Academic writing always begins with careful reading. If you are a critical reader, if you are a very careful reader, you can initiate careful academic writing. Number one. Number two, sometimes questions differ. In questions, you are being asked to define things. We must have in mind that in this particular question, we are being asked definitions. In some questions, you are being asked to compare and contrast. There you need to keep in mind that you need to bring arguments where two different situations are going to be compared and two different situations are to be contrasted. Sometimes we have the questions starting with explanation. Explain your position. Or if we have a very strong teacher, he or she initiates the question with argue. Argue your point for this or that. Most of the time the questions from media studies and from English studies begin with this. Our approach towards answering them is same. We never care that either the question with argue or question with define or question with explain or question with elaborate or question with any other rubric need different treatment or not. So we need to keep it in mind because this is the first principle of academic writing. In academic writing, you need to answer things in the way the question is being asked. And second thing, besides academic writing, because this thing will help you in your greater exams. And this is what I am going to share with confidence because I appeared in combined competitive exams thrice. And every time I qualified the written part of combined competitive exam. And what was my strategy? I am going to share it with you. Now we have 4 questions. All questions carry equal mark. What do we often do? We select the easiest question and write 5 pages on that question. Okay? The next question, we answer it in 3 pages. The third question is of only 2 pages. The fourth question is only of one page. It happens in your real life. And most of the time you do this. You are running your own scores. For example, if the first question carries 25 marks and you have written 5 pages, the assessor will award you 20 marks. The second question also carries 25 marks. Okay? But you have written 3 pages. The assessor will determine that you lack in proper information in this question. That's why in the first question you had written 5 pages, but in the second question you have written only 3 pages. You have forced your assessor, you have forced your examiner to reduce your numbers. It happens like this. And when he will assess your final question, that is of only single page, you just simply demand him to give you 5 numbers. And when the result comes, you are very confident that you have attempted all the questions, but you have destroyed your grades yourself. So in academic writing, we need to be careful. And what we should do in this situation? If you know one question very well, and if you know question number 4 very little, try to maintain balance. Don't write the first question that much well that it involves 5 pages. And then try to elongate question number 4 to the level that it should be equally near to the first question. Then your examiner, your assessor, your checker will then determine your writing stuff. Otherwise, he will cut your numbers by just simply counting the pages. These are the things that we need to be very much clear while we are in academic writing. And academic writing, the first principle of academic writing is clarity. The most of the time, whatever we write, we are not clear ourselves. Because I have been checking the scripts of students, and I know that this student is very good, he is a regular student, and when I don't understand his language, I always invite him or her. What you have written? Then she reads me that text, sir, I mean this. When you are going to explain your written test, means you yourself have withdrawn the desired numbers. Because in exams, you are not provided with that opportunity to explain your position. So your writing must be that much clear, it must be that much concise, it must be that much relevant, it must be that much grammatically accurate that your examiner need not to consult you. And if there is need of consultation, if there is need of inviting your presence there, then in your university you will be given numbers, but in real life exams you will never be given numbers. One thing more, most of our youngsters, our students from interior Sindh, or I must generalize it to entire Pakistan, our Pakistani scholars while writing in English bring difficult words. They try to create impression that we have very strong vocabulary, we know English language very well, and they think that by reading our different difficult chunks of vocabulary items, the examiner will get impressed. For this, I would suggest you to read the books written by native English speakers. Have you ever read book written by Barack Obama? Obama is considered one of the finest orators, and he is considered one of the best writers. If you will read the books of Obama, you will find that Obama always starts with a very single and very easy sentence. He is the President of the United States. He was one of the most powerful figures in the world. But when he writes it in a very simple way. He writes it in a very simple, manner.